organizing this meeting and inviting me to speak. I'd also like to thank you as the host for helping us have this meeting here in the Parliament. The question before us is, can Turkey become a trade hub between Europe and Asia? The short answer, yes, and it already is. And I can maybe shut up right now, but I won't. I will go on and explain to you how we became such a hub and what we intend to do in the future. We did not come here so easily. And the fact that we actually started to change our inward-looking economic policies was in the last 30 years. It was not only 10 years ago. It became, in fact, in the 80s. Our inward-looking policies were not enough. We wanted to change, but it was not easy. The political situation was not conducive. So it was a step-by-step approach. The opening of the 80s was coupled with certain other developments. And one of the most key development that we faced, or we had, was a customs union with the European Union in 1995. It was not as easy to achieve that either, because of the political situations, as you can imagine. Nevertheless, we have achieved this, and this has contributed quite a lot to making our entrepreneurs, making our economic operators much more self-confident. Because at the time, when we were opening up our markets to the EU countries, it was to face a hard competition. Therefore, the EU had promised us financial contributions, financial assistance to help our economy to face this competition. Again, because of political constraints by the EU side, this was not forthcoming. Therefore, our entrepreneurs, our businessmen, were able to withstand this competition by themselves. And this brought on more self-confidence. We also started to get to know our own neighborhood, because, as I told you, we were more inward-looking. We started to go beyond, and our first approach was towards the Middle East. As you might remember, there was a Cold War going on at the time. When the Cold War finally ended, we found ourselves with a big opportunity. It was not only political, but also economic. Now the whole world was our oyster. We were able to expand in many ways, and we did. But we also had to face some difficulties on our own. We had a major crisis, if I might remind people, in 2000 and 2001, a severe economic crisis, similar to what our neighbor Greece is now facing. And this made us come out stronger. We have seen that the demand side for growth, employment, and a developing strong middle class. We saw all these come up slowly and slowly. A new generation was coming up. And not only were the big companies involved, but also the small and medium-sized enterprises were at the forefront of this avant-garde movement. And they moved into Central Asia, in the Balkans, Caucasus, Russia. And now we're going into Africa, Asia, Latin America. So this is a step-by-step process that we are actually benefiting from. We also have to say that, as I told you, the customs union was instrumental. The fact that we soon opened up accession negotiations in which we were able to harmonize ourselves with the EU acquis, of course, brought on new confidence and new understanding and new legislation as well. This was the high standard that we were trying to reach. And I think that we've already done so in the economic areas. We believe that we were already a free market society, a free market economy, but it took some time for the Commission to understand this. And finally they did in 2004, 2005. But we knew that actually this was more true than before. In a sense, what we are doing in our surroundings is rediscovering our own neighborhood. The Cold War had actually frozen all kinds of relationships. It was divided into West and East, and there was little room for maneuver. Now, not only are we doing it politically, I won't even go into the foreign policy area, but our economic operators have helped us go into those areas. In Central Asia, just one example, when the Central Asian countries became independent, we were trying to go in all fields. We soon found out that the Central Asian countries did not want another big brother. This is I'm very open with you. So politically, maybe we were not successful.